Okay, so the last thing that we need to do is we need to establish the monthly number of lifts per intensity zone. And then you have to create formulas so that you can calculate the number of lifts for each intensity zone based on the variant you picked. It's pretty straightforward. Monthly number of lifts per intensity zone, the formula, and I've already got the formulas and I'm just going to show you. But in your light zone, you're going to take the percentage. That's the percentage that you plugged in. These are the numbers that we use to calculate the ARI. So here it's going to be 0.5. So you use that in my spreadsheet, it's C15 times the total number of lifts. And then you're just going to carry that formula all the way across. And again, there may be some rounding, so I just plug the numbers in here. Okay, so for light, because we chose, we were going to have half of our lifts be light, 50%. So it's going to be 0.5 times 300 gives us 150. 0.4 times 300 gives us 120, and 0.1 or 10% gives us 30 lifts. Okay, you're going to get your total number of lifts per intensity zone. Okay, there's going to be 150 light, 120 medium, 30 heavy. And now you're going to do that to establish your volume variant as well. In this example, I've got 3C chosen. Okay, so I'm going to take that G19, which is the total number of lifts, and I just use it over here where I had calculated it. I send it across my number of lifts per intensity zone. So I've got, but you could also just use it, either one. You could use it where you plugged it in, or you could use it where it got calculated. Okay, so, and then we're going to multiply it times the variant. So we have the total number of lifts for the week times the variant that we established. Okay, oops, I'm going to do that. Okay, and this is just, you can go one at a time, or you can create a formula and go all the way across. So we're going to have 15% of our total lifts are going to be in the first week, 28% are going to be in the second week, 35 in the third week, and 22. So again, we get 300 total lifts. That's the volume is distributed here. And then we have to establish the intensity zones, or the number of lifts per intensity zone. And again, we have determined, we're going to use, I just picked 2A. You just take the formula, and here you got to be a little bit careful. You have to use the total number of heavy lifts. Okay, so we have E19, E19, that's our total number of heavy lifts times the intensity percentage. We can carry that across. I have 30 total heavy lifts, so that's the number I'm going to use when establishing my heavy lifts. Do the same thing for light and very light. Okay. For light, I have a total number of 150. This is C19. And if you look in the formula here, we have C19 times C34, which is 15% this week, 28% this week. So you just have to be really careful and make sure you select the right number per intensity. You'll do that for both light and very light. And then for medium, you just subtract. So you'll have 45 total lifts in this week. You're going to subtract the heavy, you're going to subtract the light, you're going to subtract the very light, and that's just going to give you the numbers. And what's really cool about this is that you've got a lot of kind of cross-checking here. You end up with your total number of lifts. And you can also, if you want to add everything up to check the totals per week or per intensity zone, you can say equals, oops, sorry, that was wrong. say all my heavy lifts. So I'm going to take that plus that, and I have 45. So we had established that we were going to have 45 total lifts. And if I look at the number of lifts in my first week, 5, 17, and 23, it equals 45. And I could copy that across. That's going to give me the totals for each of them. Okay. And then that total is going to be 300. And just go. I get 300 total. So it's just getting the last part of this spreadsheet done. It's just, you know, basically just the math and being very careful and checking it. And then you're done, and you can actually create a, oops, this added 300 twice. That's why you see that. So this is wrong now. To actually put this into place, here's an example. I kind of random, I decided, oh, let's look at bench press. 1 rep max is 150. My weight jumps are 5 pounds. I'm going to put in a weekly number of lifts of 250. And I just, again, went with a pretty straightforward number of lifts per intensity zone. And I got my ARI of 71%. And then you can just start running your calculations. And it goes pretty fast once you do this. And then you have your totals. And then from there, you just go and do your rep ladders. And I think that I will do the rep ladders by hand. And I just created a spreadsheet that looked like this. You can either plug in your ladders or just print this off and do it by hand. So the whole thing's pretty easy once you get the formulas in. I think it would also work really well with the Plan Strong program with a few modifications. So I hope this helped. If you guys have any questions or any suggestions, just go ahead and write them down. I mean, if this can be improved on, I think that'd be awesome. All right, bye-bye.